Good morning and a very warm welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios here in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me, as usual, is Bandula Jayasekara, the former journalist and former diplomat. Good morning.
Morning for us, fine.
I hope you're not trying to relegate you.
No, definitely, but I thought I must bring it to your notice for us. Today is the International Day to End Impunity and Crimes Against Journalists. So of the UNESCO, and I thought I will, this is a very important day today.
Absolutely, we shall look into that and talk about that. And joining us also this wonderful morning is the leader of the TULF, Mr. Veerasingham Ananda Sangari. Good morning, sir, and how are you?
I'm okay.
We are absolutely delighted that in spite of your 82 wonderful years, you are here on our network, and it's a great pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me, Mr. Anand Sangari, what is wrong in Sri Lanka in terms of...
First thing is, especially I think this will become very relevant.
Yeah.
What my friend Bandula had pointed out about the freedom enjoyed by the journalist. I am a victim of journalism, you know that. I was deprived of my seat 3 times because of the poor journalism.
Is that right?
Yeah. They write anything and everything without giving me the right to reply.
Because you are so popular.
There's a proverb in Tamil, the tree that bears more fruit, you see, receive more stones, you see. Like that. Very unfortunate situation. If the Tamil media had been very fair in their reporting, the country would have been different today. Now take this so famous Karuna's matter. After all, I have a right to talk to anybody. I need to get the permission of any journalist. And no journalist has any right to degrade me, you see. That is my worry. Not right throughout. So for the last 5 years, repeatedly, there are certain particular journalists who write against me and write supporting some individuals in the TNA.
But right now we have a press complaints commission. So
what is the use? What is the use? Now say this Karuna's matter. It was I was thinking of starting a new alliance, you see, because of the unfair way the TNA is dealing our problem. So it was a matter, between me and the people to whom I talked. So Karuna came to know about it, you see. So he offered his support, so I will join you because you are a senior member in senior person in politics and leading a good party and all. That's all happened. Unfortunately for me, one journalist very strangely, I was really surprised and at the same time happy. He came out with the fact, you see, that was hidden all these 10 years.
which is...
the Tamil Daily openly said that TNA belongs to me and someone is occupying my seat. He has no moral right to be the leader of the TNA. That's a long story, we can have at the end of the discussion I can come give you the details. TNA was started by us, but all these years someone then made the people believe that it was an organization started by the LTTE. As a result, due to fear and so many other factors, you see, people are supporting the TNA. So when this man pointed out that it is Anand Sangari who should still be the president, chairman of the TNA, one member of parliament who is running a paper for his personal use, for personal popularity. He's the man who started this. Gave a big publicity to that, you see. Then every paper started writing about it. And some Tamil papers write rubbish about me. I don't want to even read that because I don't want my blood to get boiled. So now see, they are impunity there. They can write anything, everything, finish a man politically.
But we are talking impunity against journalists.
Ms. Anand Sangari, tell me, why should we have the Indian system of devolution? Why do we need any devolution in this country?
This is a very good question, and I didn't expect you to ask me this question. in this problem, the people who will get last satisfied will be the Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a factor that we can just overlook. Every time something happens here, you see, they protest more. So it struck me. One day the former president also told me, Sangari, don't use the word federal in your statements and things like that. You can liberally use the word Indian model. So I thought to myself, and I met this one of the high priests here. He wanted to know my views on this matter. So I told him, this is what I told him. Swami, the biggest democracy in the world is India, with a majority Hindu population. And strangely now, in spite of the difference of opinion and rubbing shoulders every day with Bangladesh, Pakistan, and within what is the place, Kashmir, you know, they have appointed a Muslim as the head of the state. And strangely now, much loved and respected, you know, in spite of all the difference of opinion they had with the Muslims.
Yeah.
They have appointed the Muslim as the head of the state and give him all respect. Now, see, even after he died.
He was elected. Not appointed, he was elected.
Was he elected?
He was elected, yeah.
Why do we need that Indian devolution system here?
I'm just coming to that.
Yeah.
I'm coming to that. So, the moment we say federal, Indians will oppose. I mean, India will support it, Sri Lanka, everyone will oppose. So, I told the president, Swami, this is one factor is, this is not possible in our country. No Tamil can become the president, can't even dream of. Then the other factor, language, came from India, both languages. Then religion, both religions came from India. We all came from India. Above everything, there's a permanent guarantee, whichever party comes to power, to give an undertaking that they will never allow the country to be divided. So he asked us, what else do you want? On the spot he said, Ansangri Vanditvaga Yojana, I tried this now, say, for example, take Mr. Karujas, Honorable Karujas Surya. He is fully supporting that. I met 6 or 7 ministers of that government.
He's supporting what? Sorry.
Support the Indian model.
Right. Okay.
Indian model. The moment we pronounce that we are going to adopt the Indian model, you can silence 600 million people, 600,000 people using Tamil Nadu. You just tell them that we are going to adopt a system that will be almost like the Indian, the way the Tamil Nadu is ruled. Mm-hmm. So, once they are silenced, half of the problem is solved. Half of that. Then I discussed this matter with the present Prime Minister. I discussed this matter with the present President about 5-6 years back. My good friend Bandura also had written an editorial on that, supporting it. I don't know whether you recollect that editorial. So, it's an easy way of solving the problem, you know. Then, if we can't ask or expect anything more than what the Indian legislature, Indian various states enjoy, because there will be trouble in India, they will agitate for more. So, the best way is that accountability to be. I hope I am right in saying the present Prime Minister, when he was contesting the presidential election, the 2005 elections, he gave an interview to the TV supporting this. Even now, when a lot of people, a lot of friends, you see, I have met a number of in Sinhalese people in London. Yeah. They are all in full agreement with me.
Which is what? That you...
With adapting the Indian model.
You are for it?
I am for it. And many people are for it.
Do you think that the people of this country will vote for such a situation?
You know, it's simple, you know. How did this... I could convince the priest. You know, this, you know, we are not asking anything impossible, you see, something possible, something acceptable. The Indians can't have any grievance against the government. We can't have any grievance against the government. It's a matter, you see, that will be agreed on by all. I tried to convince everybody from, at least some from each, from the government and the opposition. I succeeded. Then for the last few years no one is talking about it. I still feel that will be the only solution that will be taken across the country with the support of all. The UNP will support it, the SLP will support it, as far as I know. But what they think today, I don't know what they think about it today.
And I want to ask you, who is the new champion of the Tamil-speaking masses? Is it Mr. Sumandiran?
That's a big joke. Some people think that, I am surprised to see some politicians praising Sumandiran. He's a raw man. He's raw to politics. He doesn't know politics.
He's a raw man as in raw in politics, not there as an agent of India.
It's got a
I don't think he's an agent of India.
double meaning.
Only thing is, now saying, he started by saying, only unemployed youths join the LTT. On that alone, he should have been expelled from politics. You see, unfortunately, he survived. And he convinced some people allowed it, or even people like Sambandhan condoned it.
Yeah.
Then one fine day, I was shocked. And I am surprised that he is pressing for this war crime, inquiry on war crimes. He said, and Daily Mirror carried it in the front page, more people during the last lap of the war, more people, civilians were killed by the LTT. That is enough, for any lawyer to go to courts. While cross-examining, if he puts a couple of questions to this man, the whole case will fail.
But Mr. Anand Sangri,
and not only that, every time, sorry, I have not finished. One day I saw a news item. She went to London to meet the diaspora. Diaspora, they are responsible for the destruction of this country. All the money they collected, they collected millions and millions of money not to look after the victims of war, to cause destruction to the country. This man went and met him. When he returned, the other partners of the TNA questioned him, what did you discuss? What? No, I need to tell you, I have told someone. Someone is not appointed as a dictator of the Tamil community.
But Mr. Anand Sangri, apart from the diaspora collecting money and destroying the country, isn't it true that it is the Indians who are the biggest culprits and who have been putting their finger in here, there and everywhere and not allowing Sri Lanka to get on with it?
I don't think so. I don't agree with you on that point. I fully hope our problem will get solved only through India.
But now, see, taking from there what Faraz said, now look at this, the boat issue. See, now this innocent Sri Lankan Tamil fishermen suffered a lot during LTT. Now even now they can't fish. So that should be stopped. What are your views on
something that? Contrary to that, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The Tamil fishermen will finish me for saying this. I wrote to the president at that time, you are making a biggest mistake. If India wants this, they can take over Kochari overnight without any difficulty. An opportunity was given by the Indian Supreme Court, now giving the government an opportunity to take over India, take over Kochari if they want. So the government at that time refused to do that, interfere, and then say, even went direction and saying, our people have no right to do fishing here. We had gone to that extent. I wondered if the Supreme Court gave an opportunity to the central government to take back Kochari. If Kochari had been taken back, we couldn't have done anything. But they reaffirmed, confirmed that Kochari belongs to Sri Lanka. So don't forget that Kochari was used for generations by the Indians to dry their nets, to do fishing, dry their nets, dry the fish. They take the fish in bundles, you see, like that, you see. They were using it. So what I suggest is, come to some understanding. Don't try to arrest them or detain their boats and things like that. Come to some understanding. Take into consideration that they enjoyed all powers over Kochari till Madam Indira Gandhi handed over to Sri Lanka. To Sri Lanka. At that time I was in Parliament.
I want to stop here for 1 second because we're going to have a break shortly. However, on this program we ask all the difficult questions and we expect straight answers. Are you funded by the Indians? Are you funded by the Indian government?
I don't think they gave me a centime. I am not funded by anybody. I am a poor fellow living on my pension.
All right.
That's the pension again. No, this thing.
We'll come,
I know the
we'll come
history
right
of it.
back.
I am the only man, only ex-MP.
Let us come back to this because I have to take a commercial break right now. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with you. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsline, live with Mr. Ananda Sangari from the TULF and Bandaraja Sekra. You were saying, Mr. Ananda Sangari, so you are not funded by the Indians?
That's a joke. Today's politics is that, when a man expresses something opposite to what you think, I am branded as a man paid by the government. Anyway, it's a joke. I take it as a joke and I am not taking it seriously. I will continue my argument. I was in Parliament when this matter took place. No one spoke about it. No one thought about Kachari. Till Cinema Bandaranagar realized that Kachari could be used by the LTT against the government. So she had some discussion with the Indian Prime Minister. It was an Akka Nangi deal. Akka gave it, Nangi as dowry or something. That is how we got it. If the Indian government had been firm on that, you see, or if Indira Gandhi had refused it, nothing could have been done. Even today, the beauty in the Indian, I have not paid for this. The beauty in the Indian diplomacy is this. The government, after 30 years after Indira died, the person who handed over Kachadi Island to Sri Lanka, 30 years after she died, the government in power didn't want to disturb the arrangement made by the lady, didn't want to bring disgrace to her or discredit to her. They went when the Supreme Court offered them a good opportunity to grab and take back Kachadi, the authority or the head of the state or the government said, no, it will belong to India. Our people have no right to even do fishing there. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very admirable decision. I commented on that. They didn't want to disgrace their Prime Minister even 30 years after the Prime Minister concerned died. So what I am suggesting, I am not taking the sides. They had a right, which they enjoyed for generations. They could have taken over Kachadi as theirs, not taken over, they would have maintained it as theirs. But they could have prevented our people from going there.
Quite.
Now after giving this opportunity, only they are fighting now.
But
now let us come to some understanding.
Just sorry to move on a bit and sound terribly rude, but back on the funding issue. Aren't the Indians funding our Tamil parties?
No, I am not going to comment on that now because we
were
not funded.
You must be having some knowledge on this.
We were not funded.
What about files? Do you have any files
which you can give it to for us?
If you give it to me, I'm supposed to be the file man, so I can expose it.
No, I don't. We didn't get any at least.
We as in you did.
No, except that you see, we MPs, you see, for some reason everyone knows, out of fear for our life, you see, the Indian government accommodated all the ex-MPs, you see.
If you didn't get it, who gets it?
I too was one of them. We lived in India for a few years. After we quit office in 83, all of us resigned. Without then we didn't enter Parliament or rather remain in Parliament even after passing of the extension of term of office of Parliament. So that time we were looked after, we were accommodated in the guest house and fed, that's all. Apart from that, to my knowledge, I don't think anyone from the TULF got any assistance from anybody.
Mr. Anand Sangri, now people say that you only do letter writing. You are just become a letter writer. That's all. What have you got to say to that?
I wish somebody to read my letter seriously and reply that. If anyone has the guts, you say, among the Tamil people, let them reply that letter without talking nonsense. I am not a fool not to write. I don't, this is not a letter that I write like a journalist like who write over the counter. It takes
No,
one
journalists don't
dead-
write over the counter. I have to correct you. They don't write over the counter.
Ah, right.
That you are only writing. That's what they say.
Then-
you have no say.
Yeah.
Because you are very upset that, angry that, you have lost the leadership to TNA,
rubbish.
and that's what they
I
say.
started writing when I was MP.
Yeah.
I started advising Prabhakaran when I was MP.
You
see,
were,
so
we
what
didn't
I
know that
say
you were
is-
one of his former
What I
advisors.
say, all
That's
the
the-
lectures.
What do you mean advising Prabhakaran? Why didn't you advise him to put his arms down?
There you are. You didn't read my letter, so you are putting this
I have
question.
no- you
if you
only
have read
just
the
told
letter,
us.
you won't put this question to me. How many times I put it with him? Just before he was killed.
Did he
I
ever
wrote to
reply
him,
to you?
I wrote to him.
Yeah.
Just in March, April he was killed.
Right.
May. March I wrote him, my dear Thambi, you are earning the curse of 3.5 lakhs of people. This curse will continue for generations. Please come to some understanding. You have lost Kilinochi. After losing Kilinochi, you can never win this war. He didn't respond to that.
So he
Yes,
didn't
I think-
reply to you. Has he ever replied to you?
He need not reply.
No.
But if he had got my message, that's enough for me. He never replied. But certain action taken by him may
But
be.
Mr. Anand Sangari, why can't the Tamil people unite and move on without having to lean on India? Why India? Why is this India present?
No, that's a good question. I am not leaning on India. I hold the scales evenly, that's all. But this is a question. Why can't the Tamil get together? It's a question you should ask someone then.
But let me
That's
ask
what-
you this. Jaffna has got a water problem. The former conflict area has got a water problem. There was a proposal to take water from the Iranamadu tank and push it to Jaffna. Only the extra water. They couldn't. A simple thing like that, it wasn't agreed.
Again, this argument is based on facts you say that you don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
You know,
I
was
know the
MP
subject very well. But
I
go
was
on.
I was the MP for Kilinochi for a long
Yeah.
time. The people Maha season, we don't use the Iranamadu water.
Yeah.
It is used only to save the crops. Till end of the
Yeah.
season, if there is drought and things like that, to save the crop. So it depends only the Yala.
Yeah.
People depend on.
But Mr. Ansang,
People depend on what you call
We agree. We agree. So far we
a
agree.
person having 10 acres gets water rights only for 2 acres. A person living on the left or western side of the Kandy road will have to transfer his water rights to some land is on the eastern side.
But the proposal on that Iranamadu tank about water was that where the water was above a certain level, that level was the requirement for the local requirement. Anything more than that is what they wanted to move on.
Some of these are very delicate issues. The
Well,
people
they are
listening to me
delicate,
will
but-
say that I am pro-Indian fisherman. I am now I am opposed to the water
what-
being taken for drinking purpose.
But
Can
why
you-
should-
Given a
Please,
clear
Abu,
answer.
One second.
Yeah.
We know in those days, every year, due to drought, you see, water supply is restricted here. Don't forget that Iranamadu is a tank that had been feeding only about 25,000 acres. That scheme will never prosper, will never will be successful until some water from the south is diverted to Iranamadu. It must be done simultaneously. Then you can get enough water.
But
Now there's a
it-
proposal to divert what is
Mahavir. Yeah, but
still that is done using.
But Mr. Anand Sangari, it sounds to me very much like when we talk about the central bank bond issue, yes, that again, but when we talk about that, the usual response from our dear Prime Minister is, well, it was done in the past. You know, this thing going on to the past is a big nuisance. It's like what you're saying now, saying, well, it has to be done simultaneously. When you know that the second option of diverting that is a far bigger project, why can't you just agree that the extra water can be sent
There
to
is no
Jaffna?
extra water. You don't understand that, no. I am telling you, there is no extra water. The people who hold 10 acres
Yes.
are given only water rights to cultivate half an acre, 1 acre, depending on the water available. They meet the committee, there's an association that meets, headed by the irrigation director or somebody. They decide what extent can be given to the major cultivators who own large extents or small cultivators who are colonies. People don't understand the problem properly. You see.
Perhaps you come on
The thing is now, I think let's move away from water.
Yes.
Now you took away the TULF for your because of personal reasons. Why did you take it away from the Tamil people?
And I didn't take away the Tamil purely from the people. Sambandhan and Sena Raja took it away. The tigers took it away and gave it to they took it away and gave it to the tigers.
But now you're with Mr.
Sena Raja restarted the ITAK, Lanka Tamil Sikaji, 26 years after Cholnakam died. Don't forget that.
I like what Faraz said. He
But
said,
I said now you're with Mr. Karuna now.
Karuna is not with you, but you're with Karuna.
Yes.
I am not, no one can prevent me from joining with anybody. That's a different matter. That is my democratic right.
Do you think he's a reformed
No,
terrorist?
it's utterly wrong. I am telling you. I complained to you about the journalists. They know nothing about me, but they talk through their head or write through something. I don't know why. Something wrong with them. There is some force giving them direction. I am telling you. I had an idea of forming an alliance because the TNA was not doing their job properly. This man got the idea and then offered to support me and claimed that Jansen is a honest leader and all that. You see, that it will is the moderate party that should be saved and all that. I never invited Karuna. Karuna offered to support. Okay, we'll see about it. I am trying to get all the anti-TNA elements together. After all these forces are brought together, I'll make an offer. I even offer Douglas Devantha to join us. What are the single leaders done here? 35 political parties, each other's throat, have joined themselves and formed a national government. They call it. I don't call it national government. Anyway, 35 political parties. Here, 4 political parties can't join together now. Because they want someone that doesn't want to move from his position. If you remember in 2004, when the parliament was dissolved, I had another 4 years to go, no? You remember that? Only we had gone 2 years, another 4 years left. Parliament was dissolved. The man who was most affected was Ranil. How is it that Ranil and Chandriya are now on the same platform?
Very quickly, we've got a few seconds left. How many times have you met the Prime Minister?
How many?
How many times have you met the new Prime Minister?
Unfortunately, only at some functions I see him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for being on our show this morning. Do come back on a longer show. We'll contact you. We can discuss things better then. And thank you, Bandana.
Thank you for that.
And on a day that we've been talking about standing up for various things, those who stand for nothing fall for anything. On that note, I'm going to wish you a very good morning. Take care and God bless.